Going green, and I don't just mean the color of this car, but being conscious about the environment and your fellow human beings has never been this exciting. Well, not in India at least. 475 PS, 630 Newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 100 kmph time of just 4.1 seconds. This is the Audi e-tron GT.
And you do not need it.
What? Why?
You want an Audi
Yeah?
with 4 doors,
Practical?
something sporty, sleek, sexy,
Of course.
quick,
Yeah?
and green, of course.
Yeah.
It's not just an Audi, it's an RS, the RS5. What more do you want?
Well, that isn't exactly the green I was talking about, but I get your point. These two are really similar on paper.
Yeah.
But we don't really have too much time with this car, so a proper comparison ain't gonna happen.
So let's just stick to the fun stuff. Drive fast, brake fast, turn fast, go home fast. Look, technical stuff be damned. I don't care about the space, practicality, features, quality. We know that stuff is going to be great. I just want to know how these cars behave differently while doing the same stuff.
You know what? That really sounds exciting. So let's do it. Where do you want to start?
I got it. Your turn.
Firstly, that's not the best sounding exhaust out there. Yes, it can't compare to that hum from the EV, but let's do a 0 to 100 and I bet you that EV is gonna ice this ice.
You're on.
So Tushar, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
No, but are you ready?
Yeah, we've done this like a billion times. Let's just go.
Okay, sure. You're sure, right?
Yes, I'm sure. Just get on with so much build up and psyche up and whatnot.
Okay.
So much exaggeration.
Okay.
I just don't get it. Like, just try. Yes. Oh, fucking. What the hell? How are we already at 100?
I told you.
What in the name of everything holy?
So that is what 4.1 seconds feels like in an electric.
Oh my god. That's what it does to 100. 4.1.
Yeah.
Okay, look. I'll level with you, right? Instant torque is something I've experienced. I've spoken about in a lot of reviews. I've driven EVs before. This is warp speed, especially with that Tron-like sound it makes. But 4.1 seconds is still Audi's own estimations. That's a little slower than the RS5. The RS5 is
Yeah.
a sub 4
Okay.
second, not meter.
Let's go check it out then.
You know? Let's do it. Alright, time to give you a reminder of what petrol power can do and what it always has done. So,
Are you ready? Yeah.
are you
Let's
ready
go.
for this? Huh?
Let's go.
No, seriously, are you ready? Alan, are you? Right.
Let's go, man.
Ow. Aha! Now tell me again. Tell me again about your electric e-tron GT and whatnot.
Well, it's really going to be sad when we don't have that sound of appearance anymore.
Negative, really. But what do you think though about the 0 to 100? There are differences though.
Yeah, so on paper and probably in the real world also, this is the quicker car. But what's really interesting for me is how they're different. The e-tron GT gives you that initial kick and then just surges ahead. Whereas in this,
It builds up. There is that difference. So I feel like the initial shock or the holy cow, what the heck just happened, is more in the e-tron
is
GT.
more in the e-tron GT.
So
yeah.
that way it is more dramatic as a car that you want to launch off the line.
This has that old school sound accompanying it, but emotionally and that first time when it happens, it's the e-tron GT that's the exciting car.
I'd actually have to give that to you, and my whiplash will agree. I have to do that. But I'm willing to bet you that because electric cars aren't just green and whatnot, they're also heavy, that in braking this thing's going to be better.
Yeah, it probably will be. But let's see.
Yeah.
Since I really wanted to see a cone getting knocked, the RS5 set the target to beat. Thankfully, neither one of these cars needs much of a run up to get up to 100, even with 2 power to weight ratio destroyers in them. In our V-Box runs, the RS5 has proven to be one of the quickest braking cars we've ever tested, so the target to beat won't be a cakewalk.
After resetting our organs back in place, it's now time to see how the e-tron GT matched up.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Weight makes all the difference. When I knew that this thing could not outbrake the RS5, it's got a significant weight disadvantage because it's an electric car. I think it's been outbraked by about 1 lane marker's length. That's like 2 meters.
Just 2 meters, dude.
2 meters. That's 1 me. That's the difference between an accident and not an accident.
Fair enough, fair enough. But you know what else we can do with cones, right?
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let's go. Our cone ring tests have given us some fun results, and we've been waiting to do it with some truly sporty cars forever. Here too, it'll be the RS5 setting, well, not exactly a target to beat, but let's say a line of expectation. In the interest of consistency, we've decided that I do the driving for both cars. Tushar wasn't too happy about giving up the keys, but, well...
Alright, we're on the move. 65 kilometers an hour in the RS5 with our in-house cornering expert. So he's going to be checking how we do at each speed in each car. 65 locked. Ready. I don't know what I was bracing for. That was unbelievably clean. That was
just...
Why am I surprised?
Yeah.
Why am I surprised? It's the RS5.
So 65, very easily done. Not much movement at all by the car. So we're going to take things up to 70 now for the second run.
Audi RS5 at 70 kilometers per hour now. Locked at 70.
And coming in hot, coming in hot.
Felt that one. You felt that one. The tail went out on that one. Wow.
The systems really come in and correct everything. Huh?
Yeah. You didn't have to intervene much.
Not too much. Just kept whatever lock I had and whatever. ABS, ESC, EBD, all the BDs came in and saved us.
Yeah, they definitely work. But the difference that 5 kilometers per hour makes in that corner is massive.
Yeah.
It did feel predictable, even though it was a little more loosey-goosey on the rear though. But I'm still confident, again, because the e-tron GT, like I said, again, with the braking, heavier car, not a good thing when you're going for a corner. So,
Yep.
I'm confident.
500 kgs more, probably thereabouts.
Yeah, not a small amount. Let's just hop in
We'll
there.
find out now.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, 65 kilometers per hour in the e-tron GT. Round 1, heavier car. Will confident?
Yeah, 65, there should be more than enough grip. And let's see.
Has this car forgotten it weighs more than 2 tons? Overload.
It was just so stable.
What the heck?
It didn't move at all. It just, once I had the line, it just went through the corner.
Okay, don't start getting cocky just yet. Like I said, 5 kilometers per hour makes a huge difference. So let's talk about it once we are at 70. That's going to be the decider.
Feeling the pressure, aren't you?
No. You're the one facing the pressure. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering what happened to my finger, well, I watched the videos on this channel and just had to smash that subscribe button. But you don't have to do that. Just a gentle tap or a click on the subscribe button and the notification bell will do just fine. Now, back to the GT.
Okay. 70 kilometers an hour in the e-tron GT. Time for the moment of truth.
A lot of weight, very tight corner.
Honk.
Here goes. And it always seems just way too fast for this Mahaya.
Again! How is this You weigh more than the RS5 by a lot. What are you doing, e-tron GT? What cheat code to physics is this?
It did 70, didn't come close to clipping a cone and did get a little sideways. The rear did start to come out.
But forget about all those deductions. How? What is the heavier car not supposed to be the one that's supposed to be more, sluggish around here, so to speak?
I think it's just the way it's carrying that weight. It's carrying it low and between the wheels, and
Right,
there's
because-
plenty of grip. It's just the weight feels like that weight is just straight
Correct.
to the
It's
ground.
because
now.
most of the car's weight is, a lot of it at least, if not most, is the battery. It's between the wheels. It's all within the wheelbase, so it's centered quite literally, and it's low down.
Yep.
So that is actually hunkering it down. It's working to its favor. So it's able to counter that curb weight disadvantage by just distributing it better.
Yeah, and it felt. You have to admit, it felt a lot more stable
It
than
just
the
did.
RS5.
Man, electrification does some pretty crazy things.
Surprising.
Yeah. Pleasantly.
So Tushar, cars parked in weird angles, facing the camera. Time for the verdict, right?
What a verdict, dude. I just wanted to have fun with these two cars and see how they drive differently. Let me abuse the privilege of being an automotive journalist sometimes, right? And the one thing for me, it's not a verdict, it's not a conclusion, but I think the one takeaway for me is that even with the switch to electric, that fun to drive factor is not going anywhere. I mean, think about it, right? This is an RS5. That's the e-tron GT, not the RS e-tron GT. So the fact that this thing's able to deliver that excitement, that fizz, that sheer sense of wonder, it's definitely speaking volumes as to what this kind of car can do.
Yeah, and I have to agree. And while we may lose out on that oral experience from, well, an IC engine, these kind of tend to scramble your insides in a very different way that's still exciting.
Incredibly so. All right. I want to get back home. I'm quite tired. We haven't had lunch today. But I'm not in the mood for particularly efficient driving. But one thing I have to check is, what's the range on that like right now?
Last I checked, around 320 or so.
What? 320? This thing's at about 350 or so.
So again, very similar.
Surprisingly so. We have to get back home quickly in a rush.
Let's
Drain the juice. Let's do it. Beat you to it.